lack of communication doesn't necessarily mean when you are quarreling with your partner or maybe you have not been talking for a long time. Lack of communication can simply mean that you are not communicating the right way, because communication becomes successful when your partner understands what you're saying. Like when you pass an information, your partner should be able to understand what you're saying the way you're saying it. Have you ever found yourself in that situation where you are actually saying something to your partner, they are rather understanding it in a wrong way, or maybe you just sent a text message, you just called, or you just said something, and all of a sudden your partner begins to misunderstand what you said and gets angry over your statement. And of course, you didn't mean to annoy him or her, you just said something with a good heart. So, this is to tell you that communication goes beyond words, it goes beyond talking with your partner. Communication rather means being able to get your partner to that place of understanding what you mean by whatever you said or whatever language you said it with. And to actually get this right, you need to understand your partner's language. Like the partner has a way they perceive or they understand things. You need to pay attention to how your partner understands when you communicate. You don't just thrust whatever you are going to say and think that your partner is going to understand it the way you said it or the time you said it. So there are some certain people that don't really get what you're saying when they are under pressure or when they are busy, or there are actually times when you talk to your partner or your spouse and they will really hear what you're saying. Either they pay better attention or maybe they're in a better position to really understand what you have to say. So this matters a lot. You don't have to ignore communication in your relationship thinking that it's all about saying it and just going your way, and or maybe you begin to withdraw from your partner just because the last time you spoke you didn't understand. There is actually a way to speak to your partner and your partner will understand. Another area that people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to communication in relationship is the fact that they ignore their partners a lot of times because they don't want to talk, they are stressed out. And you have to know that marriage is work and you must be ready to put the work that is required to make it successful. Like you don't have to ignore your partner and not talk about some certain things simply because you are tired or exhausted or busy or maybe for some reason best known to you. But you have to realize that part of the work we do in marriage to make it successful is to communicate the right way. You have to be intentional about communication. So if you have a tight schedule, busy schedule, or you don't have time at all, you have to prioritize the way and the time you are going to be talking with your partner because they must hear you talk. So there must be constant flow of information. You get your information across to your partner gets theirs across to you, and that is how the marriage flows. If you don't do this, you're going to have a lot of fringes, you're going to have a lot of issues in your marriage relationship at some time. So it doesn't matter how busy you are, it doesn't matter how tight your schedule is. What matters is how do you plan to communicate to your partner? What are your plans? You must have a plan because marriage is work. If marriage is work, you have to be ready to put in the right work to it so that you will actually make it successful. Else, you're going to be struggling in that relationship thinking that your partner is a problem or you are the problem. But of course, none of these things are the problem. So when you communicate the proper way, you and your partner begins to think alike, you begin to reason alike, and that's when two becomes more powerful than one. Of course, one will chase 1,000 and two will chase 10,000. It can only work that way when there is proper communication. When you understand what I understand as your spouse, that is when we work together. But when you have a different perspective from me and I have a different thing, we can never work together. But when we begin to share our minds, thoughts, and begin to align, agree, disagree, these are the things that actually makes us to work together, makes us to really bond very well together and fight together, overcome life challenges together, and actually do our visions, our dreams together. That flow of communication can never be taken out of relationship.